Let's be clear. This is not amnesty. This is not immunity. This is not a path to citizenship. It's not a permanent fix.
I'd like to see legislation that deals with this issue, and I happen to agree with Marco Rubio as he looked at this issue. He said that this is an important matter, that we have to find a long-term solution, but that the president's action makes reaching a long-term solution more difficult.
Well, reaction on both sides of the political aisle agree that the president's policy shift, giving a reprieve to some illegal immigrants who were brought to this country as children, isn't a long-term fix. You've also got some conservative Republicans calling the president's move backdoor amnesty. And now the emotionally charged immigration debate may become one of the most contentious issues of the presidential campaign. Joining us now, former U.S. Attorney General Alberto Gonzales, who's here to share his thoughts about the president's decision with his first public comments on the issue. We are so happy to see you here in our studios. Thank you so much for being here.
It's good to be with you.
Let's talk for a moment about the president's decision. The president says this is the right thing to do when it comes to addressing the concerns of some illegal immigrants' children, that this is a way to try and find some compromise on this path. Do you agree?
Well, I'm already on record as saying that we need to do something to help qualified immigrant children. I have a problem both substantively and procedurally in the way this president is trying to accomplish that goal. Substantively, the problem I have is that it doesn't deal with a more secure border. It doesn't deal with requiring tougher workplace enforcement. It doesn't deal with visa overstayers. It doesn't deal with the millions of immigrants who came into this country illegally as adults. So as a matter of substance, it's well short of what we need as a country. Procedurally, what I worry about in the way that the president has done this is that rightly or wrongly, it is viewed as political, given the fact that we're in an election season, and this is something that he could have done certainly well before now. Secondly, the way he's done it, I subject the president to criticism that by selectively failing to enforce the law, he is in fact not doing his job as President of the United States and making sure that the laws are faithfully executed. And then lastly, of course, is the fact that this is a temporary fix. Immigration is an extremely difficult issue. It's going to require the combined wisdom of the White House and the leadership in Congress to find a solution that is comprehensive. I believe still today that the best way to deal with this issue is in a comprehensive fashion that's consistent with the rule of law. And we pass an immigration law that meets both our national security and our economic needs.
You mentioned that this is politically motivated. Just last year, the president was on record saying that he didn't have the authority to take this direction, to bypass Congress in this way, that he felt this was not an answer to answering the deportation issue. Now we see this flip-flop. What do you make of this in terms of the timing of it?
Well, again, rightly or wrong, it does appear that this decision is politically motivated. As to whether or not the president has the legal authority, that's something that lawyers will debate about and can debate about. And I'm assuming that he received guidance from the Department of Justice that, in fact, he does have the authority to do this. I mean, prosecutors do have a great deal of discretion in deciding when to prosecute someone from wrongdoing. And so I think what the president's trying to tell the American people is that is what he's doing here. He's exercising prosecutorial discretion. He's directing agents at Homeland Security not to deport certain individuals, qualified children. Nonetheless, I think it does subject the executive to charges that, in fact, he's not upholding the law. And I think that's never a good place to put the president.
Indeed, because you have some legislators out there already saying that this move may be actually illegal as far as they're concerned. I don't know if it is, but from your viewpoint, is there an argument to be made that it could be illegal?
Certainly one could make an argument that in fact is illegal. But again, you know, we're in a political silly season and people are going to make all kinds of accusations. I think really what we ought to be doing, and like Governor Romney said, I worry that this kind of action may actually make it difficult, sort of relieve steam, pressure to try to pass comprehensive immigration reform by dealing with the children through this temporary fix. I believe strongly it's important for this country to know who's in this country in a post-9/11 world and why they're here, and I believe that comprehensive immigration reform through legislation is the right approach.
Well, do you think this is, going forward, this is going to open the door to others who may be thinking about coming to this country illegally with their children, knowing that for now anyway, if they come, their children are basically exempt and that they could, you know, just stay here indefinitely? That
is always a concern, of course, is that by providing this kind of relief, to children, that you're going to encourage other parents to bring their children into this country. That's why I believe you do need to have comprehensive immigration reform, so that we secure our borders to make sure that that doesn't happen. And so there are things that should be done in conjunction to reassure everyone that we're not only a compassionate nation in taking care of these kids, but we're also a nation of laws, and that we enforce our laws.
Let me ask you for a moment, to just in the few moments we have left, about the leak investigation that's going on currently regarding the White House leaks. There are those who are very upset that the President did not, or the Justice Department did not choose to go with independent counsel on this investigation, and instead chose two U.S. attorneys within the Justice Department to go forward and lead this investigation. How do you see it? Do you agree that there is a problem here? These are prosecutors that have been appointed because of their discretion and professionalism. They've been confirmed by the U.S. Senate, these U.S. attorneys, and Rod Rosenstein from Maryland is someone that I know well from my days at Justice, and so I think that they can do the job. Quite frankly, we've had issues and problems with independent counsels in the past. I mean, there is a downside to having their independent counsel as well as an upside, and so again, you don't think there's going to be any kind of conflict of interest there?
You have to have confidence in individuals chosen to prosecute these kinds of cases, and I'm not going to second guess the decision of the Attorney General in this particular matter.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today with your insights. We appreciate you joining us today and sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you.